here's my review of The Bear Season 4. Now, this is a show where the first 2 seasons, chef's kiss, pun intended. It, really no problems with it. Such a great show. And then Season 3, Season 3 I do not think was bad. I saw some people say, Season 3 is terrible. I disagree. It was good, but it just wasn't really great. And this season is an improvement over Season 3, but doesn't live up to the high heights of Seasons 1 and 2. So that being said, because of that, you still end up with a very good season of television. But I think one of the things with this show, or with this particular season, is it almost feels like one big part 1. That's I don't know if Season 5 is going to be the last season, but this whole season feels like part 1. It's not one big story. I mean, of course, a show like this, you have multiple little stories, but the overarching theme, just doesn't feel like they're on a ticking clock, literally. The guy says, this is when your funny is going to start, when this clock goes down to 0. And it's that's what has the pace there, but it just doesn't feel as impactful as it should. But you watch a show like this for the characters and their sub-storylines, and they are pretty good. First things first, I just want to talk about, of course, the acting is always great. And I think, whether, not necessarily side character, one of the lesser, Lisa Cohen-Zyan's character of Tina, she is really good, even though, because she's one of, she's a main character, but she's not, up front, but she's still very good. And, I just want to talk about, little character moments, because that's what this show is. Sydney in this show is probably the best character. She's probably the best character, and I think that her story is very interesting. And over the course of this season, she's debating moving to another restaurant. She's like, why should I be at the Bear? I mean, it's way too stressful. Everyone's yelling. There's always arguing. We're barely even making any money. And she's right. But she's like, I like the people there. And part of her likes the chaos. And it's this back and forth dynamic where you understand. But also, this season is kind of just a depressing season. This is, if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. This is a show that's very loud, has a lot of yelling in it. It's a very stressful show. And it's a fun show, but after each episode, I'm like, man, I need some water. It's stressful. And that's not going to be for everyone. Obviously, I mean, if you're watching this review, you've probably already seen the show. And it could just be it's repetitive, but yes, of course you're going to have the same tone. I'm not asking them to change up the tone. But it just feels in terms of, like I said, the main problem I think with this season is it just feels like one big part 1 to me. But one of the best episodes by far was the wedding episode. Really, everyone gets a chance to shine. Jamie Lee Curtis, and then Brie Larson's character as Natalie's cousin. When they're at this wedding, the tension here is so great. And this is another one, with all these seasons, they always, have, this one episode just full of a bunch of big-name actors. This got Brie Larson, what's his face, Saul Goodman's actor, Bob Odenkirk. And the wedding episode is very good. I especially like the scene under the table, where they're all under the table to comfort this little girl, and they kind of just it's one big venting session, really. They're just kind of talking about what they're afraid of. And I thought that it was a great scene. It was a very beautiful scene. And that's what the show does best, is really just the little intimate moments between the characters in what is otherwise a very hectic show and stressful show. When it gets to the core character moments, it just does an outstanding job. And I think that this episode was one of the best episodes. It was great. And this season also does have I really like the snow episode where they make it snow for this one family. They're just trying to, really hard to impress this one family, goes out to dinner, and they basically make fake snow because they've never been to New York. Or no, New York, I think. Or is it Chicago? I don't know. But they've never been where it was snowing, and they wanted to snow, and they had, fake snow. That was a very sweet moment. And Richie this season, he's also great. Richie's a character where he's another one where it's he's a stressful character. And I liked him. I think that he had a really good character arc. I really like the relationship she had. His character arc with him basically kind of getting, like, basically getting along better with his daughter's stepfather, played by Josh Hartnett, and that was just a really great scene. Was also just added to the tension when they're sitting right next to each other under the table. It just kind of felt even more awkward and just made it even more funny. And also, Will Poulter also comes back as Luca from, I believe, was it season 3 or season 2? One of them. But he was great. Will Poulter has always been great. I mean, he's one of those actors, like, where it feels like he's been around for a while, but, like, just in recent years, he's been really, like, getting a boost up in his popularity. Of course, with The Bear, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and then he's kind of doing some more A24 work. But he's great here. I mean, he's fantastic. I really liked him here. And just Marcus, like all his interactions with Marcus, I just love. Marcus is a great character. But I would say that maybe the heart and soul of this season might be Sydney. With her whole storyline is just, you care so much about her because you want to see, maybe she should leave the restaurant. I mean, she is very stressful. Is she really happy where she is? Does she want to basically turn into Carmen, even though she loves Carmen? Does she want to be as stressed out as he is? And then it's just so fascinating. And I think what happens with her dad has a heart attack. And it's just that whole, like, any scene with her, like, Ayo Edebiri is such a fantastic actress. Like, every single scene with her, I just have, like, she's great. She just steals the show. Because her character is just so well written. And whether it's the scene when she's in the hospital or her own solo episode, I love when she was just watching her niece. And I thought that was a beautiful episode. And that's the thing with this show, like I said, that's why I'm going to end this review soon, because I'm just going to be saying the same thing. It's the individual episodes and the little character moments that make it great. That's why I thought that this is an improvement over season 2. Or not over season 2, definitely not over season 2. Over season 3. But it just doesn't reach the high heights as season 1 and 2. And if season 5 ends up being the last season, which I feel like based on just this whole ticking clock, you gotta make money or else it's out of business, and like what happens at the end of the season, it's like it feels like it should be the last. But that being said, I mean, I feel like they're really setting up for this show to end, and if that's the case, I'm fine with that. Even though I think this show is great, I feel like in many ways they kind of might be retreading some of the same stuff here. But overall, I think this was another really solid season of The Bear. I think this was a really good show. But I feel like this will definitely end up this is probably definitely think like top 10 definitely shows of the year so far. Maybe higher, I'd have to think about it. But overall, it's a really good show. This is a really good season. I just have some problems with it, but the really great episodes, I think, really elevate the show, particularly the wedding episode and the episode with Sydney. And yeah, overall, another solid season. I'd give it it's like a 7.5, 8 out of 10 almost.